Here now, Randi Thompson, CEO of Kidsave. She just got back from Ukraine and spent some time with the children there. Thank you so much for being here. This brought a smile to my face instantly, seeing these kids happy and dancing and kind of taking full advantage of life. But give us a sense of how many orphans there are in Ukraine as a result of this violent war.
Oh, well, even before the war, there were more than 100,000 kids who were living in institutions in Ukraine. And there are, about 70,000 that have been affected in addition by the war itself. So there's a lot of kids who are really suffering. And we've particularly worked in groups like Mykolaiv, which has had a tremendous amount of fighting. I mean, it was the first place the Russians came into, and an area where we had programming before the war because we were there since 2016. So these kids, the children that you're seeing pictures of at our center right now, had just come from war-torn areas where every night they were going down into the basement and sitting for hours as the missiles were coming overhead. Even when I was there, I mean, there wasn't a day when we didn't have, air raid alerts that we had to, move into shelters or wait until the all clear came.
These images are so happy, but there is, as you mentioned, such a dark side to what these kids have endured and experienced. How do you begin to work through some of that trauma with them and help them look to a positive future?
One of the things that Kidsave has done is develop a war trauma therapy program, which we actually got assistance from the Israelis, who had a lot of experience, obviously, in war trauma. And it's almost like first aid for trauma, where it provides immediate relief. And it's one of the things that we've been doing to train child welfare professionals and to train, and when the kids are staying with us, we're taking them through these trauma therapy programs, which give them some immediate relief from the terrors they've been facing. I mean, one of the interesting things, of course, we all know is that kids are incredibly resilient. When they first came to us at the center, they were closed and sad, and every time there'd be a car backfiring, they would jump. And in the short space of a couple of weeks, they were the pictures you see. They're laughing and giggling, and they're having the opportunity for the first time, really, since the war started, to just be children. One of the kids said to me, "I don't ever want to leave this place." And of course, our goal is not just to give them a nice little respite for 30 or 60 days, but while they're there, we are looking to either help parents who have to rebuild homes and had to give their children in temporarily to be able to get those kids back, but also for the many children, about 2/3 of the kids that are with us right now, need new parents. And so one of the goals that we have is at Kidsave is to look for parents for all of these children so they never have to go back to a shelter again.
Yeah, Randi, what does that process look like, finding their forever homes?
We work closely with child services in the regions where the children live, and work to both recruit families and train them to really prepare them, particularly for kids that have suffered a lot, for kids that have been through the war, for children who have older children who might have been in care for some time. So this is not their first trauma in the war. The trauma is being separated from their family and then living without parental care. I mean, government does as much as it can, and it tries really hard, but government does not make a good parent.
Is there a desire to try to find homes for these kids outside of Ukraine? I mean, the priority is to keep them close to what they know and their families and friends. But in the U.S., for example, are there opportunities for families here to adopt and become forever home parents?
I get that question a lot, and not today. During the war, martial law is in effect, so there is no international adoption. And you're quite right that the Ukrainian government wants these children to stay in Ukraine, if at all possible. In talking with the Minister of Social Policy, they've said to me, certainly when the war is over, if we can't find homes for these children, loving, stable homes in Ukraine, then they will once again open it to international adoption, including U.S. families.
In the meantime, people who want to help, what's the best way to contribute to the important work you all are doing, Randi?
Well, we opened the center because we needed to, because these kids had to get out, but it's not finished. It's far from finished. So we we obviously need funding to help support the center, to be able to finish it, and also to be able to bring more children out of the war zones.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.